All right, you guys. Yesterday or Sunday, a little puppy dog named Rue that is connected to Jenelle Eason was promising that a tornado or a Twitter storm was going to happen on Tuesday. Well, we learned just a few moments ago what that is. If you are in the dark, Jenelle Eason announced her split from her husband about a week ago, following a very tumultuous few months of dealing with his unfortunate actions against Nugget and her firing from Teen Mom 2. And only a few minutes ago, Mr. Puppy Dog or Miss Puppy Dog announced that J.E. put a restraining order on him, which was signed and granted by a judge, and he was just served, and he's losing it. He isn't allowed to contact Jenelle or Ensley, and isn't allowed to talk about her on any social media. He's losing it. So he is apparently no longer allowed to talk about them. He is no longer able to make contact with them. Her whereabouts have been completely in the dark since everything went down a few weeks ago. The only thing that we've been told at this point is that she is allegedly in Tennessee, according to Rue. Now, what's the details here? So, Rue stated that she kept quiet because she had to wait for Jenelle to get the restraining order and have David be served, and wanted to make sure that she remained safe. And how did David respond? Well, David responded with this. So since Jenelle has disappeared and I have no contact with her and Ensley, I have no option but to file a missing persons report. Do you like how he dropped the no contact in there? Since Jenelle has disappeared and I have no contact with her and Ensley, I have no option but to file a missing persons report. So David's response is that he's been served with a no contact order. He says, oh, but she's missing. I don't know where she is. So I'm going to file a missing persons report. Are you serious, David? Really? Like, I'm pretty sure you know she's left. She announced publicly that your marriage was over. And she's publicly said that she does not want to see you. That doesn't mean she's missing. And when someone said, and what's messed up even more is if this so-called divorce is real, you're living in her home and that's messed up. And he says, nope, Shauna, this is my house that I paid for. Really, David? Hold up a second. I gotta drink some tea. With what money? What money did you pay for that house for? Please answer. Whose income was it? Was it yours? Who had the income of $440,000? Who was in court in May for child support owed for your son Caden filed by Olivia Leadham, your ex, who stated you had more than $8,000 in back child support, and during the judge's orders it was determined that you were not working specifically so you didn't have to pay child support? That's a court record, David. So who paid for this house? Was it you or was it Jenelle? Now, it is a joint ownership. They are both on the deed. They both bought it together. Marital money is considered marital money, but theoretically, David did not purchase this with his money. And then he also said that she never filed for separation. You technically don't have to file for separation in the state of North Carolina. You can put together what's called a separation agreement, which is provided to a judge, which allocates all the information related to the separation. It discusses custody, it discusses child support, it can discuss like separation of all of your ownership of items and figuring out like financial aspects of it, where you're going to live, that kind of stuff. But it's not actually required by law in order to do the legal separation. You have to start the legal separation, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it's a long story. Anyway, so this is where we're at right now. He is not allowed to talk with her. She is somewhere in Tennessee, and he is clearly planning on filing a missing persons report against her because logically, in David's eyes, the logical next step, if your wife files a restraining order against you, and it has no contact, you say, well, I have no contact with her, so I don't know where she is, so therefore she's missing. Would you love to be a fly on the wall in David's mind? Now, why did she file for this? According to Rue, the filing was, what did we talk about last week? Rue had said that Jenelle was fearful that David would be trying to release images or videos that were compromising or sensitive in nature, and in an attempt to do so to damage her reputation and humiliate her. Because she was fearful that he would try to release that information, she went to a judge in order to get him to not be able to do that. And so at this point, David is not allowed to talk about her on social media. He would not be permitted to release any sensitive information about her. And if he did so, there would be legal consequences, which is why she got the restraining order. Now, that doesn't mean that someone else couldn't release them for him, but it would always come back to David, and it wouldn't be hard to trace if that information got leaked. So now, if he tries to contact her, if information is attempted to get out about her, there's legal protections for her to ensure that it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, he can get in trouble. This isn't the first time a restraining order has been taken out against David. His ex, Olivia Leadham, actually had a restraining order against him when she was separating from him with her son, Caden, with their shared son, Caden. And it was a violation of that no contact order that ended up with him spending time in prison. That's right. He spent months in prison because he violated a domestic violence no contact order with Olivia Leadham. It's interesting because only a few months ago, Jenelle was defending David against these allegations by Olivia because Olivia was in court and she had a GoFundMe set up to protect her and her son from David, believing that her son was at risk, and describing that Caden was having issues when he would spend time with her at the land with David and Jenelle, and that he was fearful and having behaviors. And as soon as he stopped those visits with his father, his behaviors went back to normal and he had no more issues. Knowing the pattern of history here with the kids, it's not unfeasible or realistic that Jenelle would want the same amount of protection for her kids. And Ensley, being that he only has legal rights to Ensley. He does not have any legal rights to Kaiser or to Jace. So a restraining order would not be needed for those two because he doesn't have access to them. He's not their real father. So this is kind of where we're at. And I guess there's more that could come. But apparently Puppy Dog says that they're going to keep the tea flowing and hold back for a little bit so not to spoil other things. I'm expecting an explosion by David Eason on social media. It doesn't seem that he's always done the best at behaving or withholding his behavior when it comes to this kind of stuff. Thus far, I have been checking. He has not posted anything on his Instagram, and there's nothing else new on his Facebook other than David is going to file for a missing persons report. I hope this helps you guys further see that the seriousness of the split and the fact that she is done and she's taking steps to move forward. I hope you understand that this is not, hopefully you're seeing that this is not for some sort of stunt. Someone even asked Rue on Twitter, well, what if she just is doing this for David so she can what if she's just splitting with David so she can get back on MTV, and then as soon as she gets back on MTV, then at that point she will go and she will get back with David, to which Rue said, not a chance. Rue has been dead set that this Jenelle and David marriage is over. So let's continue to hope that she stays safe. If she is in Tennessee, it is interesting though, because Tennessee has different requirements for divorce. Being that they have shared assets in North Carolina, it's unknown whether she would file in North Carolina or in Tennessee. Tennessee does not have a residency requirement in cases of DV, so she could be granted a speedy divorce in Tennessee. However, she has property in North Carolina that would complicate it. So I don't know what the plans are here for moving forward. And apparently Rue says that Jenelle does not want the house, is not interested in homesteading. She will walk away from the house if she needs to. She will sell the house if she needs to. And David is like completely out of cash, completely out of money, and he is got nothing to pay for gas, nothing to pay for food. So he is straggling. He posted a photo on Instagram yesterday of his animals, and they look hungry. So we'll see. A lot of people are now concerned about the animals, being that he has no money and Jenelle's left him with no money, and now they have 2 dogs, they've got goats, they've got pigs, they've got all these chickens, they've got hens, they've got geese. And without money for himself or for the animals, how do the animals get fed? That's my question. I hope, even though she's mad at David, she doesn't like forget about those animals that need food, or somebody can help those animals, because those animals are an innocent bystander in all of this mess. So this is where we're at for right now. I thought I had more for the Amber Portwood live from last night. Unfortunately, the video I have didn't have sound. So if you happen to catch any aspect of the live from Amber Portwood's last night and you have a copy, can you send it to me or contact me on Instagram? I'm at Without a Crystal Ball. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am posting multiple times a day. I've been posting short clips and videos of different lives that I'm finding from some of your favorite people. And I want that to be a place where you can get sort of moment to moment news when I don't have enough to go live yet. So it's at Without a Crystal Ball on Instagram. I'm on my way to hitting 10,000. Not there yet, but please help me get there. All right, you guys, I'll be back later. Bye.